Evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me this evening, well, or this morning, this afternoon, wherever you may be. We'll get started here in about 14 minutes, but in the meantime, if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to drop them in the chat and I'll respond. Hope everyone is enjoying their own playthroughs on Starfield. I know a lot of people have gotten quite far through their playthroughs, and we've actually had a bunch of people who have rushed through the individual campaign to get to New Game Plus and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of information out there about how the campaign works and how it progresses and that sort of stuff. It's really good to see. Welcome everybody to the new viewers who are showing up. I appreciate you being here. We'll get started here in about 10 minutes or so. But if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. So are any of you viewers who are playing the game, are you utilizing mods yourself? Like I say, so many great mods and modders out there in the modding community to pick up where Bethesda left off in so many things. Welcome everyone to the new people who have showed up. We'll get started here in about 5 minutes or so, but in the meantime, if you have any questions or any comments, drop them in the chat and I'll be happy to respond. Otherwise, I'm just catching up on some news and that sort of stuff until we get closer to the time to start. Hey, Ranmar, thanks for joining. Good to see you. Yeah, kind of expected. I knew it was going to be late, and that's one of the things that I do regret about having to move this stream to now, so... as my overseas viewers get kind of cut out a little bit, but... I do appreciate you popping in. Thank you very much. Like I say, have a good sleep. Welcome everyone to today's live stream, episode 4 of our Starfield gameplay series. I'm Commander Jorval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So from an admin note, just a couple of quick things. I mentioned last week about the NVIDIA driver update. Make sure that you've gotten that. It was passed out as an over-the-air update, so it should have automatically updated, assuming you had the most updated game drivers from NVIDIA to begin with. Like I say, I haven't seen much of improvement at all on my 30 series. NVIDIA claims up to a 5% performance increase on their 40 series cards, but still a good thing. Any little bit is helpful, so make sure you've got that downloaded and are using it. Second is, I'm not going to spend a lot of time going through them all, but I do want to remind everybody that Bethesda games have a very long and very storied history with modders. And for those of you who don't know, Bethesda opens up their games to modders, and they put out resource packs and creation packs for that to help modders do that stuff. Now that's not officially happened yet for Starfield. Their creation pack and that sort of stuff has not been officially released, but modders it's still the same engine as previously, just upgraded. So modders have gotten into that again for Starfield, and they're picking up where a lot of the out-of-the-box things from Bethesda have fallen short. A lot of quality of life improvements, as well as different things to make the game run better and have access to things like DLSS and that sort of stuff. So there are a lot of content creators who are doing mod roundups and that sort of stuff that explain a little bit more about them, but don't forget that all of that is out there. If you're frustrated about loading screens or delays in windows popping up and that sort of stuff, or the lack of maps, please go check out the modding community out there and go see if there's something that might, help get you through until either Bethesda comes up with it, or they release the creation pack stuff and all these things get more or less baked in to Starfield. As far as my playthroughs, on my first playthrough, I don't ever utilize mods. I play the game as it comes out of the box, with obviously hotfixes and updates and that sort of stuff. But as I start to explore New Game Plus and that sort of stuff, or second playthroughs, then yes, adding mods in is kind of a no-brainer to see what all the things change and how it improves. Because the modding community, like I say, is very robust for Bethesda games, and they are stretching their legs here and hitting the ground running on these. So pay attention to those, and if there's something that frustrates you, feel free to go check out the modding community and see if there's a fix for it. So I think that's it for the admin notes. So on our recap, we left off at the end of last week having completed the Mantis questline, basically. And at that point, we're thinking about what we were going to do next. We picked up a brand new ship out of the deal, which is an upgrade over what we currently had, the Frontier that was gifted to us as part of the main questline. And now today we are going to expand on that by getting hopefully another ship upgrade. And to do that, we're going to be joining our first faction. So without any further delay here, we're going to go ahead and jump right back in with where we left off last week, and we'll kind of explain a little bit how it's going to go.
I've occasionally had my doubts about Constellation as an investment, but now, well, it's clearly money well spent.
Okay, so we're going to get rid of the Kelton Rush quest here, the side quest that we started a couple of live streams ago. And we're going to start... There are two ways to kind of approach this. If you go to the Cheyenne system and walk into Aquila City, you're going to start the Freestar Rangers faction quest right when you walk in. You're going to have the opportunity to have it pop up on your menu. If you talk to Sam Coe, the Empty Nest quest overlaps in the same location of Aquila City. So if you start the Empty Nest quest and you take Sam Coe along with you as a companion, then you can have him along with you during the Freestar Rangers questline. The very start of the Empty Nest quest means that you have to complete the very first start of the Freestar Rangers quest. So this quest is kind of meant to lead you into that, so to speak, and that's what we're going to do here as well. I do want to check one more thing here first. Okay, so I wanted to make sure who we had assigned to what here. Our Razor Leaf still it has 2 crew slots. However, Sarah does not seem to take up a slot on your ship for whatever reason. So bringing Sam along, we could assign him to the crew of the Razor Leaf as well, and get the benefits from him. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to go over and talk to Sam, who's sitting right out here.
Feel free to help
on the patio.
I cannot wait to meet her. It's been ages since Constellation has had someone new. I wonder what she's like.
Just go easy on him. Being interrogated by a kid ain't exactly the best way to make a first impression.
I'll limit it to the really important stuff, Dad.
This does not bode well. And you must be the latest poor fool to get dragged into our dysfunctional little family. No. Funny story, caught this one stealing my ship. Only reason I didn't turn her in is because we have the same last name.
Dad.
Alright. That's my one. Whoa. I know a few dark sides of the Aquila Moons, but if you're looking for deep history lessons, well, I'm gonna fall asleep before you do.
Trust me. Don't encourage him. Kuriko, by the way. Hi. It helps to have a good teacher. Dad, don't let it go to your head.
Good teachers are like supernovae. Brilliant auras of light that turn dust into stars.
A compliment from little Cora. When it's not even my birthday. Now, let's talk business. Sarah tell you about the expedition? I feel the same. Yeah, I always get antsy planetside. The three of us are heading to Aquila, for a settled planet of the Freestar Collective, and, not coincidentally, the home of their capital, Aquila City. We'll land in the city's spaceports, but the frontier's our goal. It's rough country. Spawned a lot of stories. And I got a lead on a tale that makes me think one thing. Artifact. Yeah, don't piss off the Freestar Rangers. As far as the Collective is concerned, they're judge, jury, and executioner. They're the good guys, but that don't make them any less dangerous. Outside that, just don't be an asshole. Okay. We'll meet you on board your ship. Talk more when we get there. Once we land on Aquila, it's gonna be you and me. So if you want to do any freewheeling before then, Cora and I will just be riding passenger.
Hello, Captain.
Okay, so from here, we want to do a couple of things, actually. The first is... Okay, so he won't be there until we actually get to our ship, which is fine. So we're going to head to our star map. Head over to Cheyenne here.
On it.
I have things for you.
Freestar space. Please hold your current speed and heading while we scan you
We'll
for
go through the
contraband.
scan here because we don't have any contraband on our ship, and then we'll be able to land.
Scan complete.
Everything checks out. Landing initiated.
And I just thought about something in that starting this quest and taking Sam with us. I'm anxious to see if that's going to put a hamper in a little section of the quest line, but we'll see. We may have to shift over to the empty nest quest line once we get a certain ways into this. So
Excusez-moi. Good thinking. I've got plenty to do on my own, and so do you. Makes sense to split up for a bit.
actually forgot I still had Barrett listed as my active companion, so I'm going to go in here and pick up Sam.
I have something for you.
If I can find him.
You've got something for me?
Okay, well there's
What's
Barrett.
new?
Let's see if he's now waiting outside for me. Oh, there he is.
If you're looking to stay,
All right, we're here. You ready? Because once we get started, I'm gonna be riding your tail till this is over.
Okay, so this might be... I'm trying to think through, because when I did this in my personal playthrough, I didn't have Sam locked in as my follower during this. So I'm trying to think if there's anything Yeah, there actually is a section where I'm going to be picking up a companion from the Freestar Rangers. And I don't know if that means that I won't be able to continue that quest if Sam is locked in or not.
I don't mind spending
So
some
what we'll
extra
do
time
is
with
we'll
you.
start the Empty Nest quest here. We'll pick up Sam as our companion, and if going through the Freestar Rangers quest line, once it starts there, if we're not able to continue it because it wants to give us a companion and Sam's locked in, then we will pivot over to the Empty Nest quest. Something I didn't think about, something I forgot to test before we got here, but
There's something you should know up front.
either way, we'll have a quest line to do.
I'm a Co. As in Solomon Co., first man on Aquila. That tale I mentioned before, the one I think is connected to an artifact, it's something of a family legend. After Planetfall, Solomon spent years mapping Aquila, and he found a tiny little patch of nothing on his sensors. The kind of nothing an artifact produces. He called it the Empty Nest. Said it was a place even the wildlife of Aquila wouldn't go. Because you'll find a whole lot of nothing. Gravitational anomalies are a little hard to pick up in an area with tons of starship traffic. Not to mention all the electronics from the city and security scramblers that the Freestar or smugglers out on the frontier put down. Yeah, and the Coast have been coasting on that for 10 generations now. Solomon's always a larger-than-life figure if you read the histories, but if you just listen to a few recordings of the man, he was simple. Just wanted to keep moving forward. Solomon's maps are locked up tight in the local gal bank. We'll be heading there.
Okay, and we do want to make sure that we take Sam and assign him to the Razor Leaf. Sam has piloting skill as well as the payloads skill. So the piloting skill is going to be increasing our maximum speed of our engines as well as our maneuverability, and payloads is doing just that. It's increasing the maximum carry capacity on our ship, both of which are really good things to have. So let's go ahead and get started here. And what I meant by the two quests overlapping, you will see as soon as we get in here.
Hold it. By order of Marshal Daniel Blake, I need to inform you we've got some trouble at Gal Bank. Folks might be in danger, so you may want to steer clear.
Never a dull moment around here.
I know you. You're Sam Coe. Marshal will be damn glad to have another Freestar Ranger helping out.
Afraid your information is a couple years out of date.
I guess that'd be the Marshal's call. Frankly, it ain't going well. Looks to be a stalemate. Maybe a little outside help would do some good.
Well, I doubt those robbers are gonna let us leisurely peruse the Gal Bank vault. We better see if we can help move the situation along.
And here's what I mean by the two overlapping. The symbol here is for the Freestar Rangers. So the Job Gone Wrong quest is the first quest in the Freestar Rangers faction quest line. And you see the Empty Nest quest leads us right into it. So completing one will complete the other. So that's exactly what we're going to go do now.
You planning to tell me your demands at some point?
You find someone we can trust, and maybe we will.
Like who?
Not you, not one of your rangers, and not these city guards neither.
What the hell am I supposed to do with that? You need to stand back now. It's a hostage situation. Now please, get back, or I'll have the guards drag you away. I don't mean to be rude, but I don't know you. Now please, stand back.
Aquila City at its finest, I see. Never a dull moment.
Well, I'll be damned. Sam Cole. Been a long time. I won't hold my breath about you being here to take the badge again. Listen, Sam, just so you know, I don't blame you for how it went down. For the others, though, you might get a different reception.
Thanks. I appreciate you saying so. But I figure some of that reception is owed. Still, I appreciate the sentiment, Marshal. It seems you got a situation. My friend here may be the answer you're looking for.
All right, Sam. I'll trust your judgment on this one. Some folks from the Shaw gang tried to rob the place, but they got spotted by a guard. They took everyone inside hostage, and now they're keeping a watch so we can't move against them. They're using the intercom to communicate. It's a big group that hides outside the city and runs smuggling jobs off-world. They take in all kinds, rookies and veterans alike. Judging by their lack of preparation, I'd say this particular group is green as hell. Probably their first attempt at heist. That should work in our favor. Right about now, they're probably wishing they'd just stayed home. They won't talk to me. Say they don't trust the badge. They want a neutral negotiator. In other words, they didn't have a plan for this, so they're stalling while they come up with one. Without demands, I ain't got much to work with. About all we can do is wait and see. All right, I'm willing to allow that. But a few things first. Say what you have to, but whatever they ask for, there's no way in hell I'm giving it to them. Also, there are lives at stake, so don't get cavalier. Find out what they want, and then report back to me.
Take it slow and steady. Look for every opportunity to de-escalate. You got this.
Hey, you in the bank. I'm sending in a negotiator, so don't shoot.
Making fools of us
Stay where I can see him. And don't try nothing.
Seems we've got a little excitement on our hands.
Okay, so obviously a couple of ways to play this. Sam wants you to play the persuasion route, so we'll look for that. This is definitely something that you want to drop a quick save before, in case you fail. And you're left with only the other option. If you want to save scum the game and reload it, you can. I don't do that in my playthroughs, so we'll just kind of see how it plays out.
You're the negotiator, huh? If you think you're just gonna walk up here and get us to surrender, you're dead wrong. It's Jed. Jed Bullock. Well, ain't you polite? So tell me, stranger, how do I know you're gonna deal straight with us? I don't know you, so why should your word mean anything to me?
Okay, so you see down at the bottom, we need 8 points in 3 turns to persuade this. So we're going to have to take some chances here.
We're staying as long as it takes. We've been in worse scrapes than this. We can handle being stuck in a bank.
Okay, so here there's no way I'm going to pass it unless I get an auto success or a critical success here. So, just going to pick something and just go with it.
I see what you mean. Well, I guess you have a point.
Okay, as long as we can keep passing, like this illustrates a good mechanic of the persuasion that was mentioned at the very first pop-up for it. You cannot fail the persuasion if your final attempt succeeded. So as long as you can keep succeeding on these +1s, then you won't fail. But the farther, if you keep picking the +1s, there will come a point where even you fail the easy ones, quote unquote, and your attempt is going to end. So a +5, those a little bit more difficult than I'm willing to trust, so I'm going to try and continue it and see if we can get something a little bit easier.
I guess that's true.
Okay, so now we could try the +1 as our last one, or we could try a +3 and see if we get a little bit luckier here and move that bar a little bit farther along. And I think that's what I'm going to try.
Yeah, I'm already sick to death of this place.
Okay, so now I need 2 more +1s, or I could try another +3, but I'm going to try 2 +1s here. And I failed.
Nothing you say is gonna change my mind, so let's just move on. They talk too damn much. Complain about everything. But as much as we'd like to, none of us has shot one yet. We want to guarantee a safe passage to the spaceport and a ship. We'll drop the hostages off somewhere safe in the system. After that, we'll radio back where they are, and the Marshal and his crew can come and get them. But if anybody follows us when we break orbit, we start shooting people. Got it? What, you think we want to stay locked up in here? Hell no! Oh, hell, the Freestar Rangers have got ships. They could give us one of them. This whole damn job's gone wrong. It was supposed to be just a quick hit. Clean and simple, you know? So let's all try to keep our heads, yeah? Because my guys, they're going crazy in here. I don't know how much longer we can last.
Okay, so we have another opportunity here to persuade.
What do you mean? Damn it. I didn't think of it that way. Part of me just wants to be rid of these people. But we need them right where they are.
Okay, so we're in the same situation we were last time. We're going to have to probably take some chances to get that persuasion bar up to 8 here.
Maybe you're right. Nobody gets hurt, we won't have to rot in jail for the rest of our lives.
You could go directly for a +6 if you're feeling lucky.
Yeah.
There's a critical
That would be
success.
a lot worse. Nobody's been hurt, so maybe the judge won't come down too hard on us. Yeah. I think this has gone on long enough. You go tell the Marshal we'll come quietly.
You'd make a decent ranger with the way you handled that.
And that's one of the reasons to continue to pick the +1s, is because the more successes you have, the higher percentage chance, or the more likely you are, not the higher percentage chance, but the more likely you are to get a critical success and automatically complete it.
Those guys are scared. I can tell. What's the word? Well, I'll be a son of an Ashta. How'd you pull that off? To be honest, no, I didn't. The Shaw gang isn't known for backing down. Good thing these were rookies. If we'd been dealing with some of the higher-ups, things might have gone differently. Considering those are Shaw's people, that's damn near a miracle. Here, you've more than earned this. You got us out of a tough spot, and you did it with courage that's not common. As a matter of fact, you might just be Freestar Ranger material. If you're interested, head on over to the Rock and ask for Emma Wilcox. She handles the new recruits.
All right. Now that lives are on the line, let's get back in Galbank, see if we can get those maps.
Okay, so the deputized quest is now available to us, talking to Emma Wilcox here, and Emma is going to want to become part of our group. I don't know if she's technically listed as a follower or not, but we're going to see if we can put the Empty Nest questline on hold for a second, or for a little bit here anyway, and go see if we can follow up with Emma Wilcox and continue on the Freestar Rangers questline. If it won't let us because of the Empty Nest questline here, then we will jump over to that.
And you're breathing? Back to normal yet?
Mostly. Still feels a little weird though. I guess I'm not used to having.
You should try Filbert's beer. It's brewed in the city.
You got some business with me? Oh, well, if the Marshal sent you to me, that means he's looking to recruit you. Just so you know what you're getting into, I'll explain who we are and what we do. Well, the Freestar Rangers ensure the safety and security of the Freestar Collective and its people. We might hunt down a fugitive, break up a smuggling operation, investigate a starship theft, or put some would-be bank robbers behind bars. Whatever needs doing to keep the people safe, we do. Sure, but we Rangers work across the whole of Freestar Collective space. Like most things that are worth doing, it ain't always easy. But do I think we make the Freestar Collective a little safer for everyone? Yeah, I do. I imagine you've got some questions. I'll answer anything I can. The number's always changing due to retirements, recruiting, and unfortunately, death in the line of duty. But as far as I know, there's never been more than a dozen Rangers at any one time. Well, in theory, a Freestar Ranger can go anywhere in Freestar Collective space, even private property. But of course, it doesn't always work out that way. We also have jurisdiction over any local security when we're tracking a fugitive. Okay then. A word about myself. I'm in charge of making sure anyone that wants to be a Freestar Ranger is up to the task. That being said, the Marshal wouldn't send you here if he didn't think you had potential. So, what's it gonna be? Are you ready to sign up with the Freestar Rangers?
Might be a good fit for you. The Rangers can do a lot of good.
Before I hand you a badge, I need to know you can handle the job. You helped out with the hostage situation, but sometimes people just get lucky. Tell you what, use the mission terminal and take one of the listed jobs. Your choice. Come back alive, and we'll talk about you joining up. Then I suggest you get going.
Sorry about the car alarm if that came through
Got a lot of bars
on
in
the
all class joints.
on the mic here, but here's the mission board. You can pick any one of the missions that are in here to be able to do it. I always pick one of the kill missions. It doesn't really matter which one of them you pick, but I just pick them because of the reward that comes along with it. So I'm just going to pick the one, trying to think at Altair here. And, whoops, need to activate that first. And now we can see Altair's here. And we do have enough jump range to get there. That's the only reason to pick one or the other, is whether or not you have the jump range to get to it. The other one was at Mustafa, I believe, and honestly can't remember where exactly it is, but that's the only reason to pick one or the other, is if the ship has jump range. Now the Razorleaf does have quite a bit of jump range and fuel, so you're able to get to most anywhere you want to go. So it's not really that big a deal if you've done the Mantis quest like we have. With the Frontier, it may take you some micromanaging of the jumps to get there. Okay, so you are going to pick up a mission just by popping into the system here. It's listed as a side mission that you can go look at any time.
Captain, landing procedure initiated.
Hostile spacers are overrunning our position on Altair 2. I'm not sure how much longer our outpost can hold on. We don't have much time. Private Mahoney out.
And this is a fun mission to take for a couple of different reasons.
We're top of the line. Wonder what they're researching.
Mines. And you can take the elevator up here if you'd like. I tend to not necessarily like how elevators may or may not drop you off in good situations. So I always prefer to go a little bit slower. Okay, so we did trigger some spacer enemies back here. And I am retreating a little bit just to grab some cover. And we are watching our health during this engagement because some of these enemies are going to be a little strong for us.
If we just had ourselves some good snowdrifts, we could have a blast. Never mess with a cove.
And it looks like they took the stairs down here. And I got myself into a spot I can't get out of here. But it is another good reason to have a companion with you. Got this one downed up here in the corner. I am going to change back over to my frag grenades here. Now, technically, we are finished with this mission because all you were tasked with doing was killing the leader there. But we'll go ahead and finish these off. Didn't even notice him come up the stairs. Now that we've got some distance, we can swap weapons here. We just don't have a lot of ammo.
Time to tango. Open up now! This is my favorite part.
Okay, and I think we just have one more over here and should be good. I think we're gonna have to go up.
This feels like old times. Won't they go?
Okay, so it looks like more enemies did pop up.
Not so sweet now.
Don't know if all three are still down here. Yep. Oh, the sign saved him. Okay, and I think these two are a bit farther through here.
It's payday. But you're next. You're nothing.
Okay. So that will end that. And yes, shooting the boost packs is always hilarious to do. We're going to go through like we normally do and loot all of the bodies. Because all of these weapons are a lot of credits for us. And we'll just do a quick look around at other things. But we won't spend too much time, in the interest of being incredibly boring on a live stream, to loot each and everything that we possibly can in here. Would just take too much time to go through it, but we will just do a quick search for crafting supplies and that sort of stuff. you do have these air conditioning systems that will lead you throughout various places as well sometimes. And what I have found is that food items like this, restores 10 health, restores 5 health, really not worth picking up. The raw food items, if you're going to be interested, like an orange or something like that, or bread, which can be used to craft or to cook up other food items, very similar to like what you could do in Skyrim and that sorts of stuff, are much more useful. So, wouldn't worry about walking around and just picking up every random piece of it heals you for X amount of health item, because they're just not worth it. You have too much health for it to make a difference. The effects of food are more what you're interested in rather than it heals you for X amount of health.
Labs like this usually have security, just a heads up.
Okay, so there's a crafting ingredient. Crafting ingredients, if you're going to go down that route, and I highly suggest that you do, because modding your weapons and your suits is incredibly valuable. Just a little heads up if you haven't gotten that far into it. So picking up crafting ingredients to be able to help do that later is incredibly important. You can really boost up your weapon and spacesuit performance with the crafting mechanics that are in the game. Don't think there are any doors on these to get in here. But yes, things like these manifolds and the microsecond regulator, it's an exotic component, as well as this wafer. So things like this to pick up, you're going to find out once you get into the crafting mechanics for your weapons that all of those type of things are needed. Now, you can certainly go buy them afterwards, and credits aren't really a problem in this game. However, if you have some of them already on hand, it just saves you time from having to go buy them, because normally when you go buy them, you become overloaded because of trying to buy so many at once, and it's just a pain. So if you already have them on you, like I say, it just saves you that time and a little bit of credits.
You might want to stow some of that. Just a suggestion.
You're also going to see me utilize more of our aid supplies as we go. Right now, it's not that big a deal. The encounters are manageable, so it's not really that important that I go through and use my aid supplies. Go for the duct tape. It's laying all over the place. Welcome to the stream, Pete. Thanks for being here. And I kind of missed it, so Ken, thanks for being here as well. Certainly appreciate you guys being here for the stream. And Joshua as well. Sorry I was a little involved in the fight there, so I wasn't paying as much attention. And some of these you're going to be able to craft yourself, like zero wire and things like that. You can actually craft yourself, but sterile nanotubes are stuff that you have to buy. Unless you up your crafting skill sufficiently. Inside the science tree in your skills is a section that allows you to craft uncommon, rare, and exotic components using other materials. But you'd have to spend valuable level up points to be able to do that. And it's just not worth it, in my opinion, when you can just pick those things up or go buy them. So here we do have a polytextile out here in this crate. And again, things like a pear would allow you to craft food items. It's just not something that we're going to be interested in at this point anyway. Modified drum beat there, that's actually pretty good. I'll check that here in a second. There you go. More duct tape for you. Okay, so I think that's about it. So we can... There is a little bit more down on the lower level there, but I think we got most of it that we're interested in. Like I say, I'm not going to be spending my life looting everything in here. Like I say, it just gets a little boring for you guys. I might not have as many credits as I would if I did it, but not too worried about it. And as long as you make sure that you've got your boost pack, you can just boost before you hit the ground. It's low grav anyway, so... The one bad thing about the Razor Leaf is that the cargo deck is in the back. So, or the loading dock is in the back, so you do have to walk all the way around it to get to the place to enter. And when you're overloaded, you can't fast travel to get back here, so... Okay, so we're going to do a quick look here through our inventory just to see if we picked up anything any better. The Lawgiver is a good weapon for Co to have. So right now I'm using the Assassin's Grendel here. So yeah, semi-automatic armor-piercing rounds. Tech barrel's the best it can get. Suppressor and tactical grip are the best it can get. Armor-piercing rounds and semi-automatic are the best it can get. The reflex sight you can replace with the medium scope, and that's the one that's better as far as range and accuracy goes. And then you can add 2 more mods to it, which can increase the damage slightly. But that's a pretty good one that we have, so I don't know if we're going to find one that's going to be better. Now, the modified drum beat uses the same ammo as the AA-99, but you can see that it's with a short scope and semi-automatic, it's only 19, whereas the marksman AA-99 is 31, so the drum beat does fire faster, has a little bit less range and less accuracy, but you can modify this to get its damage up pretty good for an early game weapon. So it doesn't look like there's anything else. I can swap out this laser pistol here instead of the Eon. But yeah, for the rest of it, I think that's about it. What I will do is talk to Sam here.
Here, this is for you. Well, I see your parents didn't skimp on your P's and Q's. I spotted it on our last planetary foray. All part of the service. Hey, I'm gonna pick things up one way or the other. I'll keep my eyes peeled. Who knows? Check in with me now and again and I might find more.
So just like Sarah, he's going to pick up materials
Alright, let's get back to that bank.
as you
If
go
you find a new
through
pistol, I'd be
planet-side
obliged.
adventures with him. So he's got 50 caliber caseless. He picked up the Grendel and some ammo because he didn't have anything else. I'm going to give him the lawgiver.
If you need me to haul something,
Should have hit
I'm
Q
willing.
there. Now I can take this ammo and the calibrated Grendel, and he's automatically equipping the lawgiver. So that gives him a longer range, higher damage impact type of thing. So that's how I normally outfit him.
Yeah, I was done too.
Okay, so for here, remember we do have a lot of we have much more cargo capacity than on the frontier, so we could put a bunch of it back. And that's exactly what I'm going to do, is just unload all of my extras here. And there's nothing that you're going to be finding now that's going to be comparable from a straight stats number as what we get from the Mantis gear. You will quickly find out that around level 20-ish or so, you'll start regularly picking up items that outperform these. The traits might not be as good, but the raw numbers are going to be better. See if I picked up any random. Don't need to keep the ship parts on me. Don't know when I picked those up. Okay, so now we can just head back. And yeah, Ken, it does. The main story gets really, really interesting as you go through it. It's really fun to watch. And as usual, since I do have a chance here, I can sell off some items here. Sell from my ship inventory, and then all this stuff I can just sell off. Now I do, like previously, want to start by selling off spacesuits and packs and all this sort of stuff. See how much of the money I use up first. Okay, and then the rest is weapons, so I can sell off some of these. Possibly all of them. Okay, not all of them. But you do have a couple of weapon stores right inside the gate here, so.
Sorry.
Sure, Laredo. Outlaws, Ashta, those bandits from the Shaw gang. This can be a dangerous place. Best to carry a reliable piece. Okay, but if you start shooting up the town with something I sold you, I'll be more than a little displeased.
Oh, sell off the rest of these, and we can take a look and see if there's anything that we can buy. The Elegance is a really nice pistol, especially when you complete the mods and finishing it out. It can be a really good up-close burst fire weapon, especially because it's got binary trigger on it. So can be very good. Okay, so nothing else that I need for the Grendel. Once you level up, the word calibrated will start getting changed to refined and advanced and things like that. And that will illustrate basically what of the 4 tiers it is. The professionals part really just indicates what type of mods it has on it. Suppressed indicates it's definitely going to have a suppressor on it and that sort of stuff. But the calibrated, if it says modified, that just means that it has some sort of mods put on it. But the calibrated word, as you go up in level, you will see that start to change. And into the higher tiers of weapons. And that will up the base damage on that weapon for each tier that it goes up in. So, something to pay attention to as you're going, that if you've gone in and you've checked a vendor and they don't have a weapon that you like, after you level up a few times, check that and see if it gets upgraded any. So, speaking of that, we've at 131 out of 150 on our commerce. So we'll try and up that. Stealth, we don't have our next level yet, but we definitely want to keep going on that. However, other things to invest in. We can't invest in security yet. The science tree, the things to get quickly into are spacesuit design and weapon engineering. These two here. To do that, you need to put 4 points into this tier up here. The logical place to start is with medicine. This will get your med packs and trauma kits and everything doing more healing and doing it faster. So once you unlock the first one, you see you need to use healing items 20 times while you're wounded. So it's pretty easy to level medicine up for the first couple, because we only have to do it for 20 times, and since we are wounded right now, if we use, I just hit the hotkey for my med pack. If we go back into that skill, you can see that we've used it 1 time. So it's really actually pretty easy to just, and this is a way to cheese it. I don't recommend anybody, you know, unless you're really into getting all your skills up, but just tuck yourself into a corner, run. While you're in that corner, when your run gets up, you'll start building up CO2. As your CO2 builds up and reaches the max, you can watch your health down there in the bottom right-hand corner. And now that you're in here, and this is why I recommend finding a high corner, like here possibly, yeah, where you can jump. As you jump with your CO2 fully expended, you start taking damage. You can heal it. That heal lasts for 10 seconds. So during that time, if you try and jump again, you won't take any more damage because the heal's still in effect. But see the bar move just slightly? So now I can hit the med pack and bring it back. And just as quickly as that, I'm up to 3 times. So you can quickly rank up through the first couple of those just based on the amount of med packs that you're probably carrying right now. Then you can go buy med packs from individual vendors and that sort of stuff, and you can fairly quickly level that up to level 3 at least. Once you get up to level 3, I think you have to do it something like 150 times or 300 times maybe, something like that. So then it's a little ridiculous. And then I would suggest maybe putting a point into either astrodynamics to increase your jump range, or research methods if you're really going to get into the research trees here, especially for your special projects and your outpost building, outpost engineering. But getting into those two early on is certainly going to help you stay ahead of the level bumps as you go through the game here. And we did pick up, just by talking to a guard, we picked up another mission about the
hey
Red
there.
Mile. Something that will show up in your activities.
You should try Filburn's beer. It's brewed in the city and...
Oh, you're back. How'd it go? Good. You did what I asked, so let's go meet the Marshal. Follow me.
Hiya.
Welcome to the Rock.
And again, just by wandering around, you're going to be picking up a bunch of activities, and all of these are going to lead to other full missions here as you go that will pop up in your list here.
We're headquartered in the upper floors of the Rock, but we also have remote stations throughout Freestar Collective space. Helps us to identify and respond to threats more quickly. Like I said before, there are less than a dozen Rangers in all, and we operate with limited resources. Thankfully, most people respect us and are willing to cooperate. In this job, your eyes, ears, and wits are every bit as important as your badge and your sidearm.
Place is a little bit of a maze. Getting back up here, trying to remember the way you came.
Marshal.
Emma, I take it you're here because you're satisfied that our new recruit can handle the job.
Seems capable enough, and we could use the help.
All right then. Step forward, recruit. Let me have a word with you. I've got just one question. Do you pledge to defend the people of the Freestar Collective, even if it means risking your own life? Good. Here, take these. You're now a Freestar Ranger deputy. I'm assigning you to Ranger Wilcox for some field training. Listen good to what she tells you. Welcome aboard, deputy.
Congratulations. The Rangers ain't a bad outfit. They're lucky to have you.
Wish we could throw you a welcome party, but there's work to do. We got word from a farmer on Montera Luna. She says someone's trying to take her farm, and she's afraid she might be in danger. Well, it's a moon that orbits Montera. It's got a breathable atmosphere, warm climate, and good soil for growing. Just a name. Michaela Wagner. There have been Wagoners on Montera Luna for a long time, and I'm sure they're proud of that heritage. Well, most things do at the start. Doesn't mean they stay that way. That being said, best not to assume anything. Just try to keep an open mind. Grab any supplies you might need, and let's get going.
Pay attention to what Ranger Wilcox tells you.
Okay, so we did pick up some items there. So we picked up a uniform and a hat. You don't have to wear those. If you don't want, you can look at the stats and determine it. We also picked up a Deadeye. It looks really, really cool. It's got the Freestar Rangers logo on it. It's really pretty cool. With a laser sight and penetrator rounds, it's got a really slow fire rate. Does a lot of damage, so if you can manage to land that first shot, you're good. But it's got a really low fire rate and only a 6-round revolver type magazine. So it's not something that I ever used. Well, I used it, instantly didn't like it after my first encounter and kind of left it there. But you can certainly use it if you'd like. So now we're going to head over here to Montara here. And actually here to the Wagoner farm.
Welcome to Freestar Space. We're going to do a quick scan for contraband and you can be on your way. Scan complete. You're clear to...
Landing commencing.
So landed at night always makes things a little bit more fun.
Old man Wayland's hanging in there.
The Freestar Rangers. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
I'm Ranger Emma Wilcox. My deputy and I are here to help. Now, tell us what happened.
I was out planting in the fields when I saw some men approaching. They looked like soldiers with uniforms and weapons and such. They wanted to buy the farm. Didn't even ask if it was for sale. Their offer was so low, I told them right where they could stick it. They said they'd give me time to think about it, but if I didn't change my mind, I was gonna regret it. Then they left. There were 4, but when they were walking away, I heard them talking like there were others. Maybe there's more out there. Nothing I can think of, no. Truth is, we're in some hard times here. The last harvest was the worst we've had in a long time. Besides, it ain't like there's a lack of available land around here. That's right. The uniforms look like the ones worn by Freestar soldiers back during the war. They had a certain steel in their eyes. Like men who are used to violence. I was in fear for my life. Back behind the house there's some canyons. They went that way. That place is dangerous. Steep slopes, narrow trails, rock slides, and all manner of hostile creatures, too. If you're going after those men, be careful. Oh, there's one other thing. They said they were the first. The first of what, I'm not sure. But there must be more of them coming.
Thank you, ma'am. That should be enough for us to find these men. All right, deputy. Keep that weapon handy and your eyes sharp.
Okay, so good. Looks like we're gonna have both Emma and Sam with us on this, which is good.
Now, let's go and check out those canyons. Quiet out here. I like it. Nice change of pace from Aquila City.
Now you do want to watch yourself going down here. We're going to start getting ourselves into some interactions with wildlife here. So you definitely want to start taking it a little bit slower.
Anything could be ahead, or behind for that matter. Reminds me of the time I was half out of my gourd in Hopetown. Something's close.
Okay, and that's upping my stealth meter. Every time that I'm in stealth there and making those attacks, it helps me up that stealth meter a little bit. I'm actually going to save that last skill point. Stealth is obviously really good, and ranking it up again gives me an additional 15% sneak attack damage. So it can be very, very useful. But I'm going to save it for a little bit. I'd like to try and finish up my commerce skill first. And for that, we just need to sell some more items. And not that many. And I didn't load back up on ammunition. I forgot to do that, so I'm going to try and do more of this with the Grendel instead.
I grew up on a farm. Back when I was a kid, I used to love exploring and making maps. These canyons would have kept me busy for months. I'd have looked into every nook and cranny.
Okay, and searching through these things, the things you're going to pick up, the alien genetic material's really good. But things like the antimicrobial, it has in parentheses vital fluids. The antimicrobial is the crafting ingredient. the vital fluids just puts it in a... And I thought I heard... More. So hallucinogen is the tissue variety. Now all of those work the same, but if you pick up an antimicrobial, it might be just the plain antimicrobial and not the tissue type that you get from this. So like spice, it's the carapace type. So it's the same as all the other crafting ingredients that you would get. Why is the quest marker leading me back? Oh, because I forgot. To analyze the tracks first before I came down here. You have to stand here and examine. One of the things I don't like about this quest.
Several pairs by the look. Not too old either. Let's head down into the canyon and see if we can find more.
You know what, as far as the character models, Pete, what's really interesting is I think they're very, very similar in how they lay out to not necessarily what you saw in Skyrim, but what you saw in Oblivion. Zooming way in on the characters' faces to talk to them and them looking straight at you instead of off to the side a little bit or anything like that is very reminiscent of Oblivion. And don't forget that you do have a headlamp that you can turn on. It's just going to reduce your stealth.
Tough break, farmer. Hopefully whatever got them doesn't get us.
Periodically, I do like to just go into hiding because it will illuminate things like this.
Look out! Watch it!
Sam threw a grenade, I like it. And as per usual, I tend to keep the high ground. Doesn't really matter as much with these guys because they can burrow into the ground and come up anywhere. Doesn't matter the height difference. But like I say, as usual, I do like to keep the high ground whenever I can get it. And it's going to be so hard to see, and you're going to see that periodically throughout, I guarantee it. I'm going to walk over mines all of the time. It just is what it is, just get used to it. If nothing else, it's going to give me more opportunity to use my med kits and get my medicine skill up. All right, Sam, careful with the grenades.
If you don't mind, I'll let you skim that one.
They definitely passed this way. Let's just hope they're not perched up on these canyon walls, waiting to snipe us. place to get out under the sun. Spell. Being a mother.
And the Octonauts have a ranged attack. They will spit at you. And this is the other reason that it's good to unlock the medicine skill early on in your playthrough, is because you're going to be using your med packs anyway. You might as well just let that skill increase passively in the background as you go.
Sorry, startled me.
She went into melee mode. That was pretty brave. And again, I stepped on another mine. As per usual.
You smell that? I'd bet my badge that's wood smoke from a campfire. They're close. Be ready.
So as usual, I'm going to try and take the high ground here. There are a few different ways you can play this.
Stay frosty.
Because right now you can see my detection bar is green. It's not orange. So them being down here, they're not hostile right now. You can certainly go down here and talk to them.
That's all you need to know. Now quit complaining and get back to your post. We're gonna have some fun. Well now, look who's here. Ms. Wagner called in the Cavalry. Except it ain't much of a cavalry. I suggest you turn around and walk away while you still can.
A firefight here could get messy. Some good old-fashioned talking might be the ticket.
Oh, it ain't exactly the farm that's special, but that ain't none of your business. Don't recognize the uniforms. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's like the Major said, everyone's conveniently forgotten. Forgotten our sacrifice. Forgotten how we were betrayed. We'll make them all remember soon enough. I promise you that. You think you're in a position to make demands. Well, I've got news for you. All you're getting from me is a shallow grave. So, got any last words I should try to remember? Oh, I think it does. We've been found out! Don't let him leave here alive! Oh!
Okay, and I'm taking the high ground again. He does have flame rounds.
Grab some cover.
Never wise to be in my way.
Okay, so I am out of ammo for that. Guess I should have refilled my weapons.
Damn, that was a lot rougher than I expected. Let's talk.
Oh, and there was one that we killed up here. Just a med pack, which is good. I need it. Again, I've mentioned it before, none of the ammo weighs anything. So pick it all up.
If you're too tired to pick up those valuables, I will happily help you out. I know, what a guy, right?
Alright, now I think one... Just looking to see where all the rest of the bodies are. Low grav planet here. Okay, so the watchdog here is their ship. Inside all of these ships, you're not going to have access to the rest of the ship, but there is always going to be a first aid pack in them, so if you see pirates land and that sort of stuff, feel free to go check out their ship if you want a free med pack out of it. It won't take off. Well, I can't really say that. I have seen YouTube videos of pirate ships taking off with with your character inside of them. It's not supposed to happen though. So if it does take off, it's going to drop you out of the ship from a really high elevation. But you can just hit your boost pack before you hit the ground and you'll be fine.
What's the readout?
Okay, so I think that's it. So what it wants us to do was we looted a slate there, so we want to read that. Talks about the fact that their ship is stolen.
Find anything interesting? Let's see what we have here. Interesting. So, their ship was stolen from the Hopetech factory. Whoever pulled that off must have been one hell of a shipjacker. Well, I guess someone really wants that farm bad. Speaking of which, let's get back there and let Miss Wagner know that she's safe. For now.
Hey, where am I on my... Wait, I'm fine. So now you can fast travel back to the Wagoner farm. You can't do that if you're overloaded, so make sure you either drop some stuff or you can just take the long way and walk all the way back if you're overloaded and want to keep everything.
What's the news? What happened? Did you find those men? Well, it's good to see you're all right then. They must have been crazy or desperate, trying to take on the Freestar Rangers. So who were they? And why do they want my farm? Hopetech, the cargo ship company? Sorry, I don't know anything about that. So I have no way of knowing if there aren't more coming. Guess I'll start sleeping with a gun nearby. I can't thank you enough. I'd hate to be remembered as the wagoner who couldn't hold on to the farm that's been in the family for so long. Of course. All the same, I'm grateful.
If you have any more trouble, give us a call. We're in system, so it won't take long to get someone out here. All right, Deputy. Let's get back to the rock. We need to report this to the Marshal.
Okay, well now that we do have an additional skill point, I'm gonna upgrade my stealth meter. And once we get back, we need to sell 19 more items to max out commerce. I think we'll probably be able to get there. I should have just picked up some more random stuff there in the camp. Didn't think about it.
As wonderful as living worlds are, look out for predators.
Got a freighter coming soon.
Okay, so before we get here, we're gonna again just check up on what we picked up. A boosted calibrated maelstrom. So again, boosted just means it has some mods on it. Calibrated is the first level there, so don't think we need to keep that. So yeah, nothing else in particular. No, Burnaby, it's not. Once it's there, it's inaccessible. You can't, you're not going to be able to get it after the quest is over. You can actually see part of that if you come back here and look at it later. So I'm just going to sell off. Oh, forgot it hasn't reset. So let's see if we have some more credits available to us inside here. We do have a general store over here, which I'm going to stop at real quick and see if I can stock up some ammo.
I want to do your business quick. Take a gander.
As well as med packs and that sort of stuff. So definitely need more 11mm caseless. Okay, so now we can use... Now he's got a bunch of money here, so we can just sell off everything to him. And again, I don't keep the Deadeye. I don't need it. Whoops. Could have kept the modified Equinox and upped my Equinox, but I don't really need the Equinox anyway. It's just there in case I need an energy weapon for something. Durables, I don't keep anything normally except frag grenades and fragmentation mines. The others are situational usage. There is one that has some electrification damage, which is useful for robot encounters, but the fragmentation mine does just as well. And I tend to sell off my... Okay, good. So we do have some... Oh, wait a minute. Am I buying? No, I wasn't buying. Okay, so selling here. That's buy again. One of the things that I really don't like is how easily these things change back and forth between the various types. You don't have to keep the deputy uniforms and hats and that sort of stuff. I've mentioned that earlier. You don't need to keep the deputy badge either. Okay, so I am going to buy here. Switch to buy and see if I can buy me some more med packs. Good. Gonna need those to level up. Can see if he's got any particular weapons. Nothing that's needed. Let's go over and buy some more ammo here real quick at Roland Arms, and then we'll head into the rock.
I don't do... Sure, Laredo makes some good gun. You seem all right. Here's my selection.
$11 millimeter caseless is expensive, but it definitely hits hard. It's worth it. Okay. This is where I said try and remember the way. Because you have to get back up to the marshal's office without having somebody to guide you up there. All the way down at the end of the hall, make a U-turn. As soon as you get up here, make an immediate right. Then you're there.
What's the story on Montero Luna?
That call we got from Wagoner Farm turned out to be a little more interesting than I was expecting. Some men were trying to run the Wagoners off the land. They tried to buy it first, but when that didn't work, they turned to threats. We confronted them, and unfortunately, it came to violence. None of them survived.
You helped someone in need and came back alive. That's a job well done. For the time being, yes, but you could still be in danger. That's why we need to fill in some blanks. What did you make of these men who were trying to take the farm? If that's true, then someone must have hired them. Now, did you find anything that might give us a lead on why these men wanted the farm? Hope Tech ships ain't exactly cheap. That thief could probably tell us a lot about these men you ran into.
There's something else. They were dressed in Freestar militia uniforms. The unit badge was yellow on black with the number 1. They also said something about being forgotten. They seemed bitter about it, resentful. Didn't you fight in the Colony War, Marshal? Any of that sound familiar?
The 1st Cavalry. I was in that unit for a while. But it was disbanded decades ago, after the Battle of Nia. What was left of it, anyway. I suppose it ain't impossible, but it's real damn unlikely. The unit was pretty much wiped out, and the few that survived ended up in prison after a court-martial for disobeying orders. I don't recall how long the sentence was. Hell, it's our only lead. The Hope Tech factory is in Hopetown on Polvo. Nia Kalu's our ranger stationed out there. She can introduce you to Ron Hope, the president of Hopetech. He might be able to help you find the thief. Just make sure you stay on his good side. He's on the Council of Governors, and they're the ones we answer to. The ruling body that oversees the Freestar Collective and the Rangers. The council members are the political and corporate elite of the Freestar Collective, so we have to tread lightly when we're dealing with them. Proud, stubborn, and smart. A self-made man. He built Hopetech through blood, sweat, and sheer willpower. Good. The last thing I need is the council breathing down my neck. This is your assignment now, Deputy. Work with the other Rangers. Find out what you can about those men on Montera Luna. Meantime, I'll look into a possible connection with the 1st Cavalry. Good hunting.
Good old Cav. Wasn't part of the 1st Cav, but I was in a cavalry unit. Brings back some memories. Okay, so we're heading to Polvo, which is in the Valo system.
Mayday! Mayday! This is Freestar Ranger Nia. If anyone is hearing this, system's failing. Need help. I repeat, need help.
This is Freestar Collective Space. Hold while we scan your ship. All right, we're done. Welcome to Hopetown.
Okay, and if you haven't seen that before, just target the ship, get within 500 meters, and the dock button will pop up.
Ship is now docked. Perfect. Didn't even smudge the paint.
You haven't figured it out, I hate ladders in this game.
Please tell me you're here to help, not to try and steal my ship. Yeah, well, if you want to keep that badge, then don't get any ideas. This old girl and I have been through a lot together. I was tracking a crew of outlaws that's been preying on merchant ships. Bastards got the drop on me. I ran them off, but they got a few good hits in. As you can see, I ain't in much shape to make repairs. No, no chance. They took as much of a beating as I did, while outnumbering me 3 to 1, I'd like to point out. Just patch her up enough to get to Hopetown. The rest can get fixed up there. Thanks. I owe you one.
Rangers always got each other's back.
Okay, so basically a short little mini game type thing. To go around and fix her ship for her. And here, in case you don't like ladders, like I do, you can get underneath the ladder and you can jump. And if you jetpack or you boost pack while you're in there, it'll boost you up enough to grab the ledge. Whoops. Sorry, my keyboard's really sensitive, so hitting a bunch of buttons at once is standard operating procedure for me. And if you want to fall down, you kind of have to judge it when to press over to grab onto the right ledge.
Thanks. That should get me home. You're right. They were pretty beat up, so I don't think they got real far. But if they make it back to their hideout, I might never find them again. We can't let that happen. Light armaments, not too fast. Pilots are gifted amateurs, but still amateurs. You'll be outnumbered, but they'll be damaged, which should even things up for you.
They look to be heading for Polvo's moon Miatha.
Good hunting.
Okay, so you do have to leave the ship first. You can't fast travel from inside of her ship. Right. Excuse me, Sam.
Do you need something?
Once you're in your ship, however, then you can take off. Okay, so not really all that high a level for some of them.
How you doing, sweetie?
Well, I'm okay. But I'd be a lot better if...
And like she said, they are damaged. You can certainly board these ships if you would like. Shipboarding and selling is not really very lucrative, though. So these earlier on ones, it's just as, better off just getting rid of them. Once you get to higher levels, that can be a little bit different, and it become much more lucrative to board a ship, take it over, register it, and then sell it. But even with the highest level ships, you're only going to end up with maybe 20,000 credits at the most per ship. So, in my opinion, it's just not really worth it, but... Okay, so now it wants you to land at Hopetown.
Let's put this bird on the ground.
I don't want to hear any complaints.
I can hardly believe. Excuse me. A little desperate here.
And again, we're bypassing all the little side quests that are going to be popping up. You can talk to various people out there and pick up a couple.
You made it. Those outlaws didn't give you too much trouble, I trust? I can walk, talk, and breathe without too much pain. That's good enough for me. Good. I'm sure it didn't hurt that I softened him up for you. You've got good timing. A courier just came in from Aquila. The Marshal sends his regards along with a briefing on your case. I was surprised as hell to learn about the starship theft. Nobody said a word to me about it. Anyway, Mr. Hope can see us whenever you're ready. If you need to take a little time first, feel free. His office is upstairs. He's in a meeting, but it should be wrapping up. Come on.
I skipped a dialogue option there. The bottom one is...
Space! Their motto always cracks me up.
isn't just
the
the founder and
bottom
president
dialogue
of
option there was to
There's a
ask if,
council of
you know,
governors. The
really
council
no one
oversees
from
the Freestar Rangers,
from
so don't
Hope
rile 'em up.
declared the ship
I've
as
spent a long
stolen,
time trying to build
and
a
you
good
get a little hint
relationship
that
with
that might be a little strange.
He comes on a little strong, but there's a lot to admire about the man. Everything you see around you, he built. Pretty much everyone in this town owes him for their livelihood. Can't begin to imagine the kind of pressure that must put on someone. All I'm saying is, try to show a little respect. All the way up. Is it just me, or does every executive in the settled systems have an office on the top floor? I guess being above everyone makes them feel like they're, well, above everyone.
Try outsourcing. Do a contract with scavengers, maybe, but that's a decision that's got to be made upstairs.
Talk to Elaine about the scavengers. It's not a bad idea, provided we get a good deal. And I don't mean a fair deal. I mean a good deal. Remember, it's not just our bottom line that matters. We're also responsible for the welfare of everyone in the factory. We look out for our people here, Merchant. That's a point of great personal pride.
Excuse me, Mr. Hope?
Well now, the Freestar Rangers. At last! Damn good to see you, Nia. I think we're done here, Merchant.
Yes, sir.
This is the deputy I told you about.
Splendid. Splendid! It's a noble calling, being a Freestar Ranger. We certainly could use more of you.
And that is true, Except thanks for mentioning that. The downside of that also is that it does auto-loot everything on the ships, including the contraband. So make sure you know how to get to the den in Wolf system, or have some shielded cargo bays to help you land somewhere and sell it, or something like that, because you can very easily, the first couple times you do it,
let's get on with it.
End up with stuff in your cargo bay that you don't like.
I'm sure I don't have to tell you what an outrage it is to have a ship stolen right out of the factory. Justice must be done, and the sooner the better. Results, Deputy. Results speak louder than promises. I want the thief found and prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I'm sure I don't need to remind you of my position on the Council of Governors.
And for those of you who've played Oblivion before, maybe Ron Hope's voice will sound familiar to you. In case you don't know, this is Wes Johnson. He voiced the guards in Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So anytime you ran into a guard or they tried to arrest you, you heard this voice. So the first time that I heard it, I was it took me back in time to hear this voice again.
Let's get on with it, shall we? Then, I trust that you know what I expect of you. Now, tell me that you've at least got a lead of some kind. Though what happened after the ship was taken doesn't concern me. What does concern me is making sure that this doesn't happen again. Well, I'm not sure I can be much help, but I'll answer whatever questions I can. No, nothing at all. It was just a A standard Hopetech cargo holder. Not that it didn't have great value, mind you. Hopetech builds some of the most durable and reliable starships in the settled systems. Now, you can bet my ships last twice as long as anything Stroud Eklund makes. We questioned everyone who was in the building when it happened, and not one person seems to have seen anything at all. Frankly, I think that's both highly unlikely and more than a little suspicious. However, I can't deny there are times when the hangar is empty, so it's not inconceivable the thief could have slipped in unseen. What? Nonsense! We vet our people thoroughly here. Hopetech holds its employees to the very highest standards. Nevertheless, I suppose I could have Cosette conduct a thorough personnel review. Rest assured, if we turn up any evidence that one of our people was an accomplice, I'll let you know. Because I told them not to. If word got out, it would do irreparable harm to our image. I'm in fierce competition with other starship manufacturers. Any sign of weakness could be fatal. What's more, every starship thief in the settled systems would likely flock to Hopetown and start planning the next heist. Very well. I need you to understand something, Deputy. This town is home to men, women, and children who depend on Hopetech for a living. I provide jobs that put food on their tables and a roof over their heads. It's a responsibility that I take very seriously. If word gets out about the stolen ship, my investors will lose trust, and my workers will pay the price. I can't allow that.
You've got a reputation for looking after your own, Mr. Hope. I'm sure the deputy here will keep that in mind.
Is that so? Well, I'm glad to hear it. I've worked hard to make sure that everyone here is well cared for. I hope so.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Hope, but there's been a development.
Not now, Cosette. I'm in the middle of something.
But sir, we have new information. I've just received a report that the stolen ship was seen landing at Neon just after the theft.
A breakthrough at last. Well, Deputy, it sounds like you'll be heading to Neon, which means I can get back to work. Remember what we discussed. My people are depending on you.
Hey, can I get a word?
So these quests kind of lead you throughout a bunch of the different settled systems, early on anyway, and if you're looking to take these one planet at a time and kind of do things completionist style and clean out one planet before you go to the next, you're not really going to have that option as much because you're going to land on a bunch of them, and you're going to pick up a bunch of quests just by walking around.
That wasn't as helpful as it could have been. Still, at least you know where to pick up the trail. Let's hope. So, guess you're headed for Neon. There's a ranger stationed there. Name's Jaylen Price. He's a little different than the rest of us. But Neon's a different kind of place. He's what I'd call a pragmatist. He sees things for what they are. He's also well connected, which means a lot on Neon. You should listen to what he tells you. It'll keep you out of trouble. Well, we could talk for an hour about that. The short version would be that crime, law, and justice don't exactly mean the same things there. The badge doesn't carry the same weight on Neon, so you might have to get creative. He should be able to help you out. Well, we've both got work to do. It was good to meet you, Deputy. Thanks again for helping me out up there. No problem. Good luck on Neon, Deputy.
Okay, so now we're off to Neon. Another one of the main systems that you're going to be spending a lot of time on here in Volley.
Approaching ship. You've entered Freestar Collective space. Maintain your current course while we scan for contraband. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
Setting down, everything in the green.
Now, Neon's a very interesting place. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Like they said, it is kind of one of those, this is not a gas giant world, this is actually an ocean world you can see down there. But it's the Starfield version of the city of Bespin, with Lando Calrissian in charge. It can be a little bit interesting, and some of the laws and rules can be a little bit flexible.
What's this about? Cut the act. Sniffers picked up the Aurora you're carrying the second you step through.
All right, get up slowly and turn around. Try to run, and we open fire. So, what was the plan, Asher? Smuggle the Aurora into Aquila City or New Atlantis?
No, I just forgot I was carrying it, is all. Honest mistake, right? Can't we just settle this right here? I can pay the usual.
We don't make the rules. That's Administrator Bayer's job. Now, shut up and start walking.
Move it. Let's go.
So I just wanted to let that play out because you're going to get the quest anyway, loose ends. And if you're just randomly walking around, it may pop up and you may not know where it comes from. It comes from that encounter there. If you haven't already picked up the Ryujin quest, there, as soon as you walk by here, just like here, you can't escape it. As soon as you walk off the elevator, you're going to pick up the Back to the Grind quest here.
Seems like the Crimson Fleet is everywhere.
Ikuchi's a lot of fun. Really big court.
Hey, I don't care who you work for. You can't just... Oh, you're the rookie, aren't you? The one and only. Well, the Marshal's message said you were following a lead about a stolen ship. Truth is, a lot of stolen goods flow through here. But this city is real good at keeping its secrets, even from us. You're not listening. This isn't Aquila City. The badge doesn't carry the same weight here. The people who run this place aren't overly concerned about the law. Our job is to keep the peace, make sure the violence doesn't get out of hand. The last thing anyone around here wants is some hotshot deputy looking in every dark corner.
Neon's a tough assignment. The ecosystem is rigged against any real law enforcement.
Good.
That's a smart play, as much as it rankles.
Your stolen ship would have had to land at the spaceport. If it was right off the factory floor, it would have stood out. There's a guy I know, Billy Clayton, does maintenance work around the city and keeps an eye on ship traffic for me. I'll introduce you, but don't expect a favor. Even if it doesn't cost credits, nothing and Neon is free. Come on.
Neon is even more of a maze than most other places. So trying to remember where you're going in Neon, even for me who's been here several times, is just impossible.
That was pretty impressive how you volunteered to help out with the bank heist in Aquila City. Yeah, I read all the reports. I learned quickly that in Neon, staying informed and staying alive are closely linked. What stood out to me was that you didn't lose a single hostage. No wonder the Marshal tried to recruit you right away. If he hadn't, it would have made him look like a fool, having some random stranger step in and do the job he couldn't. Now, if someone tried to hold up a bank here... But you understand.
Stay safe, buddy.
That's why you just told me that you won't cause trouble. Keep that in mind. You'll fit right in.
Hey, no funny stuff with that boost pack. Got enough flight traffic as it is.
Yeah, as long as you have a quest marker, that works out really well, except if you don't have a quest marker, though, good luck finding your way around this place. And just if you haven't noticed it before, you won't be able to see it now so much. Yeah, there you have to let him get a ways away, but you can see there's a set of pathing markers that leads you. As long as you have an active quest marker, you're fine. But if you're just trying to explore different places or that sort of stuff and don't have an active quest, things can get real confusing.
Hey, Billy, got a second? What?
Oh, gee. Give me a good scare. I thought you were one of Goodman's people.
Sure, far from it. Our new deputy here is working a case, and I thought you might be able to help. Take it away, rookie.
What do you need? A stolen Hopetech ship, huh? Well, here's the thing. Neon's got no end of shipjackers. I see them come and go every day. It's tough for a guy to remember one from the other. You know what I mean?
I can see where this is going.
Yeah, well, I'm one of them. I can help you, but right now my life is in danger, and I haven't even done anything wrong. Freestar Rangers are supposed to protect the innocent, right? Then you need to hear this. It's about my brother. He died while still in debt to a syndicate loan shark by the name of Emmett Goodman. Now, Goodman's coming after me to collect. He says if I don't pay up, I'm a dead man.
This Emmett Goodman sounds like a real class act.
Yeah. He's bad even by Neon standards. That's saying something.
Okay, so you can try and persuade yourself out of this if you'd like. Seems like a good guy, though. I can help him out.
I swear it on my best set of wrenches. Goodman's holed up in one of the warehouses on Epside. Place is locked up tight, but there's a guard who watches the door, and he's got the key.
I'll stay with Billy in case Goodman's men come to collect. They're not stupid enough to tangle with me.
Okay, so we're going to make our way through here. There's some really cool things to look at down here. Finding out about how Neon really stays functional and what it does. And here would be another time to drop a save before you go into these conversations.
This is private property. You'd better keep walking. This is private property. Do you now? You don't know what you're talking about. Look, I'd like to help, but this isn't getting us anywhere. Maybe you've got hearing problems. I don't know. I said you ain't getting in here, and I meant it. Now get lost! Nah, I don't think so. Neon's got a ranger, and you ain't him.
Okay, so I'm just left with paying 1,000 credits.
As long as you behave yourself and don't overstay your welcome, I don't see the harm in a quick visit. Here, this will get you in.
A new customer, perhaps? Well now, always happy to have a visitor. Tell me, what brings you by, friend? Little light on credits, are you? It's awful kind of you to intervene on my behalf, but I think I have the matter well in hand. Thank you all the same for your concern.
I can't tell if he's kidding or not.
If you're attempting to appeal to my good nature, you're proceeding under a false premise. You see, in my line of work, it doesn't exactly pay to be soft. What's your stake in this anyway? Well, I'm afraid that's just none of my concern. Then offer me something I want, and I'll consider it.
Okay, so again, here we are with another 8.
Let's just calm down now. Don't you worry, Deputy. I'm more than capable of keeping myself safe.
So I do have an auto persuade here that's stocked up. So the way this works is it's guaranteed to succeed if you click it. So if you're looking for 1 point, you can click R and it's going to give you 1 point guaranteed. I have 5 that I need in 1 turn, so I might as well use the auto persuade that I've got stocked up, because at my current level, I can only stock up 1 auto persuade anyway.
No need to lose your cool. I suppose I could make an exception. It's just this once, you understand. Just promise me you'll keep my compassionate nature a secret. Folks might try to take advantage.
So I don't know... Yeah, you can't fast travel here. I was hoping you might be able to fast travel back to him, but you can't. And you can buy him off. You can also have a fight there and kill everybody if you'd like. You can play this, like I say, much like Baldur's Gate 3, you can play this thing a bunch of different ways and see how it goes. That's the other thing I don't like, is that depending upon where you are inside of Neon, the marker can shift. And yeah, see, that's not even the right way to end up going. Especially down here in this section. There's so many different ways to move around. So see the markers behind me, but the marker's going to shift. See? So sometimes you won't have the route open and available to you because of other quest lines you haven't completed yet. and that sort of stuff. So moving around in Neon, like I say, can get a little confusing.
Goodman's with the Syndicate.
Did you talk to Goodman?
Dealing with him won't cause ripples.
Yeah, I figured he wouldn't want to make an enemy of the Freestar Rangers. Glad the badge still means something around here.
The Syndicate doesn't worry all that much about the Rangers. I think our new deputy here is just a real smooth talker.
Okay, time for me to keep my end of the bargain. The woman you're looking for is named Grace Early. Stealing ships is her line of work. She usually comes here to sell the goods. Rumor has it she just finished a job for some mercenary outfit. And she's been throwing money around, so must have paid well.
I know her. When she isn't out on a job, she's a regular at Madame Sauvage's. That's on the upper platform. I'll back you up.
Frank Rennick's all in a twist because his robot got vandalized. We had a good laugh about it back in the station.
Look, I ain't gonna stand around here all day, right?
Love the vibe in this.
A Freestar Ranger and his... what are you? A sidekick or something? Well, I'm sure your mom is real proud. So how come I'm talking to the sidekick instead of the Ranger?
This is the deputy's case.
Is that so? And you had to bring backup just for little old me? I'm flattered. Anyway, this ain't my first interrogation, so let's just get on with it.
So again, you'll probably want to do a quick save before this conversation.
Aw, ain't you polite? I'm guessing this is the part where you tell me that you've got questions and that you expect me to answer them. That sound about right? All right. So I jacked a ship. It was just a little fun. I didn't even keep it. It was a job. I turned it over to some men, and they took off for who knows where. End of story. Nothing I did put anyone in danger, okay? Look, they didn't tell me what they were gonna do. How was I supposed to know they were gonna go after some farmer?
You should have asked when you took the contract. If that woman had been killed, you'd be an accessory to murder. Did you think about that?
No, I guess I didn't. It's not that simple.
Okay, so we need 6 this time.
I don't have time for this. I do understand. I'm trying to figure out a way to help you, okay? I guess if I can't trust a Freestar Ranger, then I can't trust anyone, right? I was approached by a woman named Maya Cruz. Said she was a senior member of the First and that she had a job for me. She was working with someone inside Hopetech and pitched me on the idea of jacking a ship right out of the factory. We were deep into planning the job when she had some kind of medical emergency. She said she needed surgery and would be in recovery for a long time. That was a few weeks ago. Haven't heard from her since. You serious? Take your pick. Money, reputation, the thrill of it. All good reasons. Only some kind of offhanded comment about their client wanting to expand the operation ahead of schedule. In my line of work, you learn not to ask a lot of questions. It tends to make people uncomfortable. No, but it sounded serious. She was upset. Seemed kind of shaken, you know? Didn't seem right I should pry, so I didn't. Not long after that, I got a message from a guy named Marco. He said he was the money man for the First, and he offered half up front. Never met him directly, though. It was always through intermediaries and using encrypted slates. Got the feeling he was paranoid as hell.
Do you have one of those encrypted slates on you right now?
Yeah. Here. Take it. I'm done with all this. Anything else you want to know? Nothing, really. I was told when and where to meet them. They paid me what I was owed, and that was it. Not so much as a hint. I'll tell you. He's as cagey a fixer as I've ever met.
Bankrolling the first must take a lot of money. Sure, he's got all kinds of side hustles going on.
No. Nothing at all. Left me feeling a little disappointed, given how well they paid me. Yeah, sure.
Next time you're at the Rock, you should give that encrypted slate to Ranger Alex Shadid. He's got a gift for cryptography. If anyone can crack that slate, it'll be him. I'm gonna head back. Good luck, Deputy.
Then I'm free to go. Suits me. I'm getting too old for this line of work. Besides, I'm going out on a high note. Ain't many can say they grabbed a ship right out of Hopetown. Should make a good story for the kids one day.
Okay. Hey, Star, welcome to the stream. Thanks for being here. So now this next section of the quest is really kind of broken up into multiple different parts here. Trying to gather enough information to locate where the conclusion of it's going to be. And to do that, we're going to do that through these encrypted slates that we're picking up. Oh, and for those of you who don't know, the St. Louis Arch there in Earth. Earth in this game has a really cool aspect to it.
Looks like organics aren't going to be a problem here.
In that, throughout the game, there are various books that are scattered throughout random locations. Well, not necessarily random locations. There are some fixed locations as well, but you can find them in a bunch of different places. And reading those books will open up monument locations on Earth in the Sol system. At every one of those monument locations, there's a snow globe that is kind of a keepsake souvenir for that location, and you can collect all of those for an achievement and as part of a quest. But it is kind of cool to go look at the various locations on Earth in the condition that they're in right now. It's actually really cool to see. But you can't find those locations until you find the book that unlocks it for you.
Our newest deputy. Hey, I wondered when you might come by. I'm Alex. Nia's report said you were heading for Neon? I've always wanted to go there. What did you think? Yeah, I bet. It just sounds so exciting and so stimulating. Probably makes Aquila City look like the more boring backwater town in the settled systems by comparison. Alas, I'll have to experience it vicariously through you and the other Rangers. So how'd it go? Turn up anything useful? Oh, come to Daddy, my sweet little mystery slate. I see lots of coffee and late nights ahead. Now, if you get any more of these, bring them to me. It helps if I can compare different instances of the encryption they're using. Just look for me up here. I have no life, so I'm not usually hard to find. You're counting on me. You know I outrank you, right? Please and thank you go a long way when addressing your betters, rookie.
Now they actually are the snow globes. They're actually pretty cool.
I'm proud to be helping the Freestar.
You can visit places like New York City and see the Empire State Building and you know, London and that sort of stuff, and you'll be outside of. Sorry, I'm not thinking here. I'm talking.
Always painting too rosy a picture, though.
And you'll be outside of, oh boy, what's that famous tall building in London? Now I can't remember it. But the snow globes you pick up will have a modern day representation of what the city looks like, so it's kind of cool to pick them all up. So, oh yeah, I need to talk to the marshal.
Hey, deputy.
That's what I get for talking and not,
It's really an honor.
not thinking here.
I need a word. Welcome back. Any luck finding out who
Hey,
stole
David,
that
welcome to the
ship
stream.
from Hopetech? Glad you got a chance to meet him. Sounds like you're making real progress. You're off to a good start, but that's all it is, a start. What did you learn from this starship thief? Well done, Deputy. Sounds like you've got a couple of new leads to follow up on. I have a guess who Marco might be. I served with Maya Cruz. She's a technical genius and an expert hacker. I can give you some background if you want it, or we can go straight to planning your next move. Like what? Most likely place would be the clinic. It's in Freestar Collective space and provides the best medical services credits can buy. They also guarantee privacy, so it's an ideal place for someone trying to keep a low profile. Ranger Ben Armistead is posted there. I'll send him an update on the situation. Around the time he got out of jail, we started hearing Marco's name in circulation. Word is he's heading up a smuggling racket. Based on what you've learned, I'd presume he's funneling his ill-gotten gains to the First. Ranger Autumn McMillan is out at Red Mile right now, looking into the smuggling operation. I suggest you pool your resources. Just remember, that's outside Freestar Collective space, so we've got no jurisdiction there. Your priority is to gather more intel about the First. What are they planning? Who are they working for? Where are they headquartered? Just remember that your targets were locked up because they were loyal to their unit. They think the Freestar Collective betrayed them. In other words, you ain't gonna get a warm welcome, so be careful. Good hunting, Deputy.
Okay, so now things get split up, and I see a Fallout reference. Yeah, I never played the Fallout games. So similarities, I'm sure that there are, but yeah, they're gonna be lost on me there. So, here, actually, we can go back to our quest log, and you see we now have two different quests. So we can either go after Maya Cruz, or we can go after Marco Graziani. For what we have left here, Marco's actually probably going to be a little bit more fun. So we're going to head to Red Mile. We also have an activity that wants us to head to Red Mile, and that's over here in the Parima system. Okay, now you don't have to have that fight. And as I've said before, when you're part of, or when you have the Razor Leaf, the Crimson Fleet will try and run from you after you jump in. So it can make it a little bit more difficult to get certain pirate kills, but it certainly makes it a lot safer. And then here you can see that there's a couple of ships that have been disabled.
That room of yours better be clean next time I go in there.
I'll get to it, Dad. I promise.
This ain't my getting around to...
Sight is clear. Descent start.
Fine, okay. Gone.
Whoops.
Before the Red Mile Bloodsport thing, this used to be a decent place. Now...
Wait, don't shoot me! I didn't do anything wrong!
Bullshit. You didn't think we'd notice that you tried to slip away without paying your check?
I was just going out for some fresh air. I even told the bartender. You can ask her yourself.
Fresh air, huh? On a planet with no atmosphere.
That's enough, Stalker. Lower your weapon. We don't shoot guests over a misunderstanding. Sir, please return to your table. It's bad practice to leave our establishment without paying your bill first. If you need some fresh air, pay up, go outside, and come back in and start a new check when you're ready.
I'm sorry, but I didn't think it would be a problem.
You were wrong. Dead wrong.
That's enough. I think the gentleman understands. Now let's all go back inside, shall we? And Stalker, you and I are going to talk about this later.
I can't wait.
So the Red Mile's a fun place.
May fortune smile on you today.
I'm really not in the mood. Wait a minute. Judging by the wide-eyed and clueless look on your face, I'm guessing you're the new deputy. Wonderful. Well, your timing couldn't be worse. I've spent weeks trying to crack this smuggling ring, and I'm about to take a very important meeting.
I wouldn't take that personally. Probably just having a bad day.
Sam Coe. Never thought I'd see you again. Can't say I really want to, either. Not after you turned your back on the rest of us.
I did what I had to do, and I'm at peace with it. If you're gonna hold a grudge, that's your problem, not mine.
I wouldn't count on Sam here to have your back, Deputy. He's likely to disappear on you just when you need him the most. Anyway, like I was saying, I don't have the time to babysit a rookie. Yeah, well, you're here now, so we'll just have to make it work. I don't have time to catch you up, so you're gonna have to follow my lead. I'm about to meet with a contact who might be able to give me vital information about the smuggling ring. If you play your cards right and don't do anything stupid, she might be able to help you find Marco. If you're ready, my contact is here and waiting. Follow me.
Paladin.
And you're going to walk right by Donovan here, who plays a very interesting role in this place.
Damn. Guy's a legend. He's run the mile more than anyone alive.
Yeah, well, things changed. Take a seat.
It can get rowdy in here.
And wait for her to tell you to take a seat, because I took a seat there and sat here for a little bit trying to figure out what was wrong. You have to sit in this chair.
Who are you? Is that so?
The deputy here is interested in meeting Marco to talk about that mercenary company he's been funding. Since part of that money is coming from his smuggling operation, we're working together.
So you're investigating the First? Why? Seems like a strange thing for a mercenary company to be doing.
I guess an introduction is in order. Like Marco, Jade here is the head of a small smuggling cartel. Difference is her crew stays out of Freestar Collective space, while Marco's group operates exclusively within it.
Except now he's looking to expand his operation, and he started moving in on my territory.
And this is because I have the commerce skill.
Well, thanks for the economics lesson, but I think I know my trade. Look, the bad news is, Marco's incredibly paranoid. He never stays in one place for long. The good news is, I know how to find him.
But you're not gonna tell us yet, because you want something.
I want the same thing you do. I want Marco out of the picture. But like I said, getting a meeting with him can be damn near impossible. One of the few people who can arrange such a meeting is right here at Red Mile.
May Divine. We've suspected for some time that Red Mile was a meeting place for smugglers. If she's in business with Marco, she won't give him up easily.
My thinking exactly. I can tell you right now what she's gonna want, because it's the same thing she always wants. She wants runners. It's how she makes most of her money. Of course, people that hard-blooded aren't easy to find.
Yeah, well, I'm not going out on the Mile. That's a death sentence. There has to be another way.
You've been a ranger long enough that too many people know your face and your name. Runners attract a lot of attention. If someone recognizes you and tips off May, this whole thing is shot. You, on the other hand, are just a deputy. It's pretty unlikely that a lot of people know you.
You don't have to do this. We'll find another way to get to Marco. All right. It's your call to make.
Planned this out real good, didn't you, Jade? The Freestar Rangers do the dirty work, you get rid of a rival.
Don't forget the part where the Freestar Rangers get to bring down a big-time criminal, while your deputy friend here gets intel on the First. Seems to me like we're all getting something we want, thanks to my good planning.
If it's really as simple as asking May Divine for a meeting with Marco, then I guess that's all you need to do. We'll wait here for you. Try not to die. Will you?
You're really going to take on the Mile, huh?
Good work dealing with the Shaw gang. Now let's see if we can find those maps.
Okay, so this is what the Red Mile is known for. And the reason why it's called the Red Mile is because it's covered in blood.
All the fun.
Before I want to go into this, I have 7 amp here. And I want to favorite these. I've got my med packs at 0. I'm going to put these here for extra movement speed and higher jump.
Yep, these people are total winners.
Ah, a new face. I wonder, is this the face of a brave runner here to challenge the Red Mile? Or simply one seeking a respite from the burdens of life? My name is May, and I'm the proprietor of this establishment, home of the famous Red Mile. I assume you're familiar. Never heard of it? I don't even ask how that's possible. You're in for a treat, then. The Red Mile is the settled system's most exciting sporting event. Brave contestants from all corners of the galaxy come here to try their luck in a deadly race to the finish. Those that survive are celebrated as champions. Those that don't, I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have. In the meantime, please enjoy our world's famous hospitality. That is true, but Mr. Graziani values his privacy. What is your business with him, exactly? No small favor that you're asking. But yes, I can arrange such a meeting. It's been too long since we've had proper entertainment. If you're willing to cooperate, I'll give you Marco. Are you prepared to run the Red Mile? Good. Once you've begun, I'll collect bets from my patrons who will place wagers on your survival. I'm afraid not. But I'm sure your confidence will inspire our patrons to place substantial wagers on your survival. That's what every runner says.
I wish I shared your optimism. The mile's very real.
Now that we're clear on what's expected of you, are you ready to begin? Good. Come with me and I'll introduce you.
Okay, so this can get a little sporty.
Your attention, please. Valued patrons and honored guests. For one brave soul, the hour of things ahead. Yes, a runner has come to test the Red Mile. Now is your chance to get a good look at our fearless challenger as you contemplate your wagers. Do you see the fire in those eyes? What is that if not steely determination?
I took this job so I could be here to see all the runners in person. Of course, most of them I only see once.
Show. The rules are simple. Go through the door and take the elevator down to where the mile begins. Activate the beacon at the base of the tower and see the distance. Once you've done so, return here alive and your run will be complete. Go now, runner, and see if you can survive the mile!
Okay, so there are two ways to go about doing this. There's the much faster, but also much more dangerous way. And then there is the much slower, but yet much safer way. So from here, you can just jump right off the edge, and if you have good enough boost pack skill, you can boost pack yourself quite a way through the mile. We're going all the way over to there. But since I don't have a very good boost skill, I'm just going to take the elevator down here. So you can take it slow. You're going to run into a bunch of creatures down here, and they can cause quite a bit of damage. So I've got a weapon on just for backup in case I get myself into a tricky situation where I'm kind of stuck. But for the most part, I hope to avoid it. What you want to do is make sure that you have your amp ready, and make sure that you have your boost or your heal kits ready, because you can see the monsters are quite a bit more high level than you are. And as soon as you start moving, so now I'm taking my amp. As soon as you start moving, they're going to come after you. And they're going to keep spawning as you move through this place. So, like I say, your best bet is just to go fast and don't stop. And you see that they have a ranged attack. And you can use your boost pack to extend your oxygen range as you go. But at the end of the day, you're just trying to get up here and activate the pedestal. Now you're done with the red mile at this point. You just have to make it back. So what I do is I sit up here and oh, and I died. I wasn't watching my health. That is entirely my fault. So that was entirely my fault. So I'm going to take my amp. And I'm going to stay over here to the left side as much as I can. That keeps you off the main track. And you spawn fewer monsters. But there are still monsters out here. And they are not happy about you. And that's the other thing that you don't like about them is when they hit you with that ranged attack, it stops you in place. Take another amp and head back. Yeah, it's not as hard as it's made out to be unless you get cornered and surrounded by a bunch of them. And you can't get cornered at spots like this. So like I say, you just have to be careful. As you go. Great, thank you for being able to get stuck on every little rock you find, because Bethesda. So really that first time was me just not paying attention to my health. And also because I think I had the Bridger on. The Bridger fires explosive rounds, and those explosive rounds, if you're firing them point blank into somebody's face, can damage you as well. And that's probably what was contributing to me taking more damage there as well than I normally do.
Congratulations, runner. You have succeeded where most have failed. In fact, you seem none the worse for wear. Indeed you have, and in most impressive fashion. As promised, I'll set up your meeting with Marco. I'll dispatch a courier to let him know you're coming. Please take a moment to relax and enjoy our hospitality. I'll return shortly.
Nothing quite like the
You're back. Are you okay? Really? Either the Red Mile's reputation is exaggerated or you're just that good.
Or I died once.
Anyway, I'm relieved you made it through okay.
Why? Afraid you'd lose all that work you put into your smuggling investigation?
I wouldn't expect you to understand. All you see in people is what you can get from them. I'm glad, because that was an incredibly brave thing you did. And we need Rangers with that kind of courage. Also, I owe you an apology. I was pretty awful to you at first. I'm sorry about that. You're right. Let's focus on the job. Once you're on your way, I'll return to the Rock and let the Marshal know what's going on. Come home safe, Deputy. That's an order.
You always were the soft one, little sister.
Oh, go to hell. Or at least make yourself useful and get us some drinks.
Okay, so you learned that they're related. They are sisters.
Well done.
Now, there is something here about the leaderboard, and this is what I meant about Donovan. He's run this 28 times and succeeded. I've done it once. You can run it 29 times for an achievement. You're not going to find me doing that on stream, though.
Time for me to keep my promise, runner? You can find Marco on Kodos aboard his ship. I'd advise you not to keep him waiting. He is not exactly patient. Good. Travel safely, runner. Should you ever crave the challenge of the mile again, it will be here, waiting for you.
Okay, so we're looking to go to Kodos. Kodos here is this moon here, and you can see that the Fortuna is here. We need to set a course for it first, though, and you'll see why.
What have we here?
Okay, so we have the same thing again. We get ambushed. And you see what happens? They turn blue after a while.
Thank you, Mantis.
And they want to leave. Now you can continue this. If you hit them while they're trying to jump away, you can continue this and fight one of them. You're normally not going to have enough range to be able to fight all of them, but you will be able to fight one here and there as long as you attack them early enough before they jump out. And that's all because we have the Razor Leaf. They're scared of the Mantis.
We're locked in.
Oh, and since I do have a couple of ailments, so just to let you know how you go through this, the icons are indicating here that a red band-aid and a blue broken bone status. You can get more information from your status effects here. That tells you what it is. So, torn muscle affected my sneaking and contusions affected my melee attacks. That's why I wasn't too interested in really, healing those while I was on the mile. But we're looking for a blue icon and a red icon here in our inventory to cure those. And you see it has our health down here at the bottom. Hopefully it has the same icons listed. So you can see we need an immobilizer here. And bandages. And now our health is back to normal. I don't know, Alex. Not entirely sure.
You the runner? Boss is in the back.
Marco's done well for himself. One might say too well.
So we can make our way back here, and you can see
music is gonna put
these are more of the first Cav veterans here, so you can tell that they're providing security for this place. This is the same group that we fought earlier on in this quest, so
Just full of knock your socks off trophies. Really
kind of lets you know what we're in store for here if things go badly.
Welcome. May's message didn't exactly make it clear why you wanted to meet with me. If you're looking for work, my organization is always in need of pilots and security personnel, willing to take risks.
I actually didn't want to have this conversation here, but it triggered automatically when you get close to him, so may end up going a little long here.
Ah, I see. You did well to find me. I'm not an easy man to locate. Though I suppose we haven't exactly been keeping a low profile lately. Given the nature of the contract, a degree of exposure was always a risk, but a calculated one. To be honest, I think the Major is all but spoiling for a confrontation with the Rangers. Still, I confess, I'm a little disappointed that the Marshal sent a deputy instead of a full-fledged Ranger.
This deputy might just surprise you, Marco.
And who might you be?
The name's Sam Coe.
A name well known across the Freestar Collective. It's an honor to welcome a descendant of the great Solomon Coe.
Yeah, well, that name probably means more to you than it does to me.
Your deputy friend here could have a bright future, assuming we all keep our heads. I'm not sure you are grasping the situation here, Deputy. You are on my ship, outnumbered by my guards, who'll kill you without hesitation. I'm a businessman. If you expect me to cooperate, I'm going to want something in return. I won't tell you everything. I do still have some loyalty to my unit. However, I can point you in the right direction. In exchange, I want the Rangers to let me operate with a free hand.
Okay, so you can either make a deal with Marco here, or you can attack here. Now, this is really more of an RP thing. However, depending upon who you have with you, you are going to get some negative or some disapproval for however you play this.
I have a better idea. Instead, I tell you something you don't want to know, but you should. The Council of Governors is a group of greedy and corrupt liars who are using you and the other Rangers to protect their own interests. Do you really think they give a damn about the people of the Freestar Collective? If being in the 1st Cavalry taught me anything, it's that blind loyalty gets you killed. Time you learn the same.
Okay, so he had an encrypted slate. And now you need to make your way out of here.
Your time's coming up. One less fatty. Gonna get your blood pumping, huh?
Okay, so I am going to let Sam go out there and take the lead on some of this, but anybody I can pick off from back here, I certainly will. Come on, pop around the corner here. And he popped around right when I wasn't watching. Oh, getting hitboxes from the chandelier. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, he did. You're finding that that happens quite a bit with your companions. And I think I know what this is. I'm just going to go clear this out here. Yeah. You're going to get a lot of red icons on your screen that aren't necessarily enemies. You have security cameras and these turrets around here as well, and they all show up as the red icons as well. So nope, there it is. Whoops. Sam, call out where you're at next time, buddy. Friendly fire ain't. Okay, one more, and I think this is probably a security camera. Yep. Alright. Okay, looks like we might have two. Okay, so we do have two more here. Sam, get out of the way, please.
Never wise to be in my way. Today's not gonna be your day, pal.
Okay. Fine, I'll go chase you down through all of the ship here, trying to find you. I mean, I think the AI is actually interesting in the game, and that it runs away and tries to find other friends to help, you know, help with it, but still. And again, you could come in here and shut off the turrets. You can also reprogram the friend or foe on them so that they will shoot at
Finding valuable stuff like
anybody.
This, for some reason, never gets old.
You just miss out on all the XP for killing the turrets and the or just the turrets when you do that. So one thing I also commented previously is that you couldn't loot cred sticks from inside the scanner. That's actually wrong. They just don't show up as an item. If you hover over them, you can still hit the E key to pick them up. So just something to remember. And you do have some fairly expensive things in here that you can pick up and take if you'd like. But again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time doing this. All I'm going to do is quickly loot my way out of here.
Looting the dead ain't glamorous, but it's...
And then once we're outside, we're going to... call it a night. And you do have the yellow icon over there on the side means that this is contraband. So if I pick it up, I'm going to get a notification that I have contraband on my ship. Now, there are a couple of different ways I could use to illustrate that, but what you need to do when you have contraband is avoid being scanned. Is really what you're trying to do, and that can be harder than you think sometimes. Sorry, I'm going to try not to get distracted here. So this, and then that. It's going to have to be this and this. So now I can up my security if I want. But I'm going to go down here and just again loot bodies before we get out of here. Again, a whole lot more things that you can loot in here, but I'm just interested in looting the bodies for the weapons that I'm going to end up selling. Now there are some lockers here which do normally have armor and that sort of stuff that you can pick up. There's a pack. Boosted injector I'll take.
Is all that junk really necessary?
And it doesn't matter if you find anything that's marked as steel in here at this point, since there's nobody around to care. So feel free. I don't think you can open this. Nope. Oh. Like I say, even the security cameras show up with a red icon here. Okay, we're just going to head back to the Razor Leaf here real quick, and then I think we're going to call it a night. Actually, we're going to extend this a few extra minutes because if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget about the fact that I have Contraband. And I'm going to jump into a system and we're going to possibly get into some trouble. So, the Razor Leaf has shielded cargo in it. A shielded cargo bay gives you a % chance to avoid being caught by those contraband scans if you land at one of the major populated settled systems. So you can also improve that with a signal jammer as another piece of gear that you can buy for your ship and equip. But it's never 100% chance to pass. So you're always going to have some chance of getting caught. With the Razor Leaf, right now it sits somewhere around 60% chance that you're going to avoid the scan. So it's not a really high percentage either. So the other option that you have is to find somewhere that isn't going to scan you and that you can offload contraband to. Now, the Trade Authority will buy contraband. And one of the places that you can do this is in the Wolf system here. Once you jump in here, the den over here is kind of like a smuggler's port. Now, there are places in the Crimson Fleet space where you can go do this same thing.
I hear you've been making yourself pretty useful around the ship, Cora.
I have, Dad. I want to be as good a co-pilot for the captain as I am for you.
Well, you're doing a great job, Stringbean. I'm proud of you. What do you say we get you a new outfit next time we're planetside?
It still fits, Dad. And I love it. Now, a new book.
Just letting them talk a little bit. But here, the den, you're able to approach the system without being scanned. You can land here at the den, and again, there's no security personnel right when you get off the port to scan you when you're coming in to see if you have contraband, like there are at some of the major settled system cities. And here you can board. And the other good thing about the den is that the Trade Authority is right here around the corner. So if you are severely overloaded, this is an easy place to sell.
Ah, a new customer. Welcome. Welcome to the Trade Authority. I'm Marcel, and if there's anything I can do for you, please, do let me know. Our stock may not be as vast as New Atlantis or Sidonia, but I will do my best to see that you leave here satisfied. And seeing as the Trade Authority is the only fully licensed operator for the den, I'm afraid your alternatives are, shall we say, slim. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, and I hope this and all future interactions are profitable for both of us.
Don't fear, you won't have to sit through all of that next time you come here.
I hope we have what you need.
But you can go in here and immediately sell off your contraband. He's got almost 12,000 credits to be able to utilize as well. So you can sell quite a bit of contraband before you need to reset his inventory. And to reset. Well, first we're going to see if we can sell off everything, and we should be getting fairly close, I think, to our commerce level up. Did we already level it up and I just missed it? Nope, we got 2 more. So I don't want to... I should have actually held off on selling the
You won't find a better offer on
the
station.
contraband. Until I could get more for it. Okay, so let's just sell something else. That should do it. So before I sell anything else, I'm going to level up my commerce skill to the max. So now I'm buying for 20% less and selling for 25% more. Very important skill to max out as soon as you can, just to make sure the credits are never a problem for you.
I hope we have what you need.
And now we still got quite a bit left, so I'm going to see if I can sell off the rest of this. And that's why I held the incendiary shoddy to sell off until later. Now, the incendiary shoddy is certainly okay. Not a problem. I guess I could probably substitute it out for the Bridger, but again, the Bridger is your fallback kind of go-to for massive damage all at once. However, the incendiary shoddy, I'm able to carry more rounds, and they're not blowing up in your face types, so I guess the incendiary shoddy is probably a better way for me to go. Anyway, but I have just enough to sell that, and now you run him out of money. So I do want to make sure that I favorite that. And then right out front is a chair. You can sit inside this and you can wait while you're here. And if you wait for 48 hours, this is 1-to-1 here. There's no time dilation. So you have to tick up and let it tick all the way down a couple of times, and you can reset his credits and his inventory, and you can continue to sell. So the den here is... The den here is a good place to be able to sell off your contraband if you have any. It's fairly close. It's within range of all of your core systems here that you're going to be dealing with on a constant basis at the start. So the den is a good place for you to kind of get rid of all that stuff before you do. And I wanted to make sure I did it because next week I'd have forgotten and I'd have jumped into a home system and gotten caught. So
it's a little surprising, isn't it?
But I think that kind of gets us to a good point. We are going to have 2 things to do here. I can go back and give the encrypted slate to Alex, or I could go to the clinic and get the next encrypted slate and then do on the run at the end of that. But either way, we're going to have another section of this quest line to get figured out next week. And we'll do that next week at the same time on Wednesday evening. So for everybody who was here tonight, thank you very much. I certainly appreciate all of you watching. The feedback is always great in chat. I love interacting with you guys. So thank you very much for commenting here during the game.
Try not to trade in
As
gossip,
usual, I'd like to
but
thank
you have
everyone for
verifiable.
joining me today. Without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Jorval saying until next time, fare thee well.